Speed Limit is a fairly new limited release. Digitally, it's available for Xbox, PC, PlayStation 4, and Switch for $9.99. But a limited physical edition is available for the Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4 at strictly limited games. Physically, you have the option of a standard release for $36.99, limited to 1,700 copies for the PlayStation 4 and 3,300 copies for the Switch. Then there's also a soundtrack bundle for $54.99 with a limit of 350 copies for PlayStation 4 and 700 copies for Switch. Now, this game is a strictly limited games exclusive, it's individually numbered, and it's a limited pre-order which is expected to ship between May and June. So I'm going to read through the game's description real quick and then I'll give you my thoughts on it since I've actually been playing it this past week. Speed Limit is a constantly changing, fast-paced action game that never slows down. In each new stage, you're met with a new set of mechanics and gameplay. As soon as you think you've mastered the stage's mechanics, the game transforms into a completely different genre, taking you through the history of the Golden Arcade era. On his daily commute, the protagonist unsuspectingly finds himself tangled up in a side-scrolling shooter being chased through the train, followed by a top-down car chase while fighting helicopters, a thrilling dogfight, and much more. With seamlessly changing styles, camera views, and mechanics, you always have to adjust to new challenges just as you start to feel comfortable. So yeah, essentially each stage is like a different genre of arcade-style game. The action is fast-paced, and you will die a lot. But you do have unlimited lives, and there are frequent checkpoints. So it does involve a lot of trial and error until you figure things out. I do really like that they experimented with a lot of different perspectives. There is side-scrolling, top-down, isometric, behind and in front views. You've got a pretty wild ride ahead of you with 11 stages to get through, but once you do get the hang of each stage, you should be able to get through the whole game in less than an hour. To add replayability, there are achievements, unlockables in the gallery, 3 game difficulties to choose from, and an extensive stats page if you'd like to improve your times. But beyond that, there really isn't much to push you to keep playing. So I did play through the whole games a few times, and I'd have to say my favorite stages were probably the top-down car chase and the dogfighting. I love the physics that they applied to the cars. It really added a good feeling of weight, speed, and mortality. I also love the way that you can shoot in 8 directions while driving. It's just over-the-top fun. I would have loved to have seen this gameplay extended further, maybe even into a game of its own. To me, this would have made the ultimate Spy Hunter style game. I don't know if you guys have played Spy Hunter, but I loved that game. The dogfighting is pretty cool too. It has a really unique front view perspective, but I really enjoyed tricking my opponents, speeding up, getting them to chase, then slowing down and blasting them from behind. I love the sound of the bullets tearing through their metal frames. The boss battle here can be really tricky. It took me about an hour and 83 deaths just to figure out how to defeat him effectively on normal mode. But you could probably speed that up if you followed a guide. So from the game's description, it sounds like they're trying to give you that feeling of classic arcade games. And it does a really good job of that in the game's mechanics. However, the sound effects, while quite good, didn't have that arcade feel to them. That's not really a bad thing, it's just a bit of a nitpick. And also, most arcade action games I remember had exaggerated, tough, muscular hero characters like POW, Bad Dudes, Karai Warriors. Man, those were some great times. There isn't anything wrong with an average skinny dude. It fits the story that they're going for, but it doesn't make me think of classic arcade action games. Now the cool thing is once you've reached a stage, you can just jump straight into that stage again at any time. So like I've said, I like the top-down car chase and the dogfighting. I can just turn the game on and jump straight to that if I wanted to. The motorcycle racing stages are pretty noteworthy too. It's fun being able to just shoot in multiple directions, dodge vehicles, and catch some airtime going over hills at high speed. That could have made a great Road Rash game if it were extended and fleshed out a bit more. Oh, and I almost forgot, one of the coolest things, I love the transition effects going from one stage to the next. That was a really clever way of bringing attention to the main gimmick of this game, which is the variety of classic arcade genres packed into one game. Anyway, I've been enjoying my time with it so far. The digital version is very easy to recommend for the price. Obviously, the costs are increased with a physical edition. Now, again, there are two versions of this game available with or without a soundtrack. So you've been hearing some of the music in the background of this video, but I'll play you a quick listen to a few tracks at the end of this video. Keep in mind, this release is exclusive to strictly limited games, and having the physical edition does allow you to resell it later if you choose to do so. Anyway, that was just a quick look at Speed Limit and some of my thoughts. I'm going to try to feature more physical limited editions on this channel to hopefully give you a better idea of what is available out there. Alright guys, thanks for watching and stay tuned. The results for this month's trophy contest are coming up next.